Let me tell you something right now. Your mind is the engine. And if you don't take the wheel, if you don't learn how to drive it, it's going to drive you straight into fear, straight into excuses, straight into the same day on repeat, year after year after year. That's the truth. No sugar, no shine, just raw facts. You don't conquer life by accident. You don't stumble into greatness. You don't wake up one day with discipline, clarity, or drive just falling out of the sky. You train it like a boxer before a title fight, like a soldier in the trenches. You get your mind in shape or it gets you in chains. See, most people think success is about talent, about connections, about luck. No, sir. It's about the mind, that quiet, invisible force sitting behind your eyes, whispering what you can't do, trying to convince you to sit down when your purpose is begging you to stand up. Every day, you're in a silent fight with yourself. And the mind is tricky. It will play you. It'll tell you you're tired, you deserve a break. They say you don't have what it takes. And if you're not careful, the call and acceptance. And once you believe it, it becomes your reality. That's why you got to get in the habit of showing up for your mind before the world even wakes up. Before the traffic, before the noise, before the doubt creeps in, you show up. You sit with yourself. You take control of the wheel. You remind that mind, I'm the one driving today. Because you can't lead a life you don't believe in. And you can't believe in a life you're too scared to build. You want to be great? You want to leave a mark on this world? Then train your mind to show up, no matter the mood, no matter the weather, no matter the scoreboard. Train it to rise. Train it to grind. Train it to shut down fear and fire up faith. Because once your mind is trained to show up, you become unshakable. And an unshakable mind, that's a dangerous thing in a world full of people waiting for motivation. Let them wait. You show up. You want to know the secret? The real edge, the thing that separates the ones who talk from the ones who do. It's not talent. It's not timing. It's not even skill. It's this, just being there, showing up every single day. That's it. That's the game. You see, the world is full of people with big dreams, big ideas, big words. They talk about what they're going to do one day, but one day never shows up because they don't. The people who win in this life are the ones who show up when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when they're tired, broken, confused. They still show up. When the weather's bad, when the mood is off, when there's no applause, when the fire inside is just a flicker, they lace up anyway. They step forward anyway, not because it feels good, because it's necessary. It's easy to show up when everything's aligned, when your bank account is full, your energy's high, your path is clear, but that ain't where your character is built. No, your character is forged in the quiet, gritty moments when you drag yourself out of bed and say, I don't feel like it today, but I'm doing it anyway. That's presence. That's power. Every time you show up when most people would stay down, you separate yourself, you rise a little higher, you build that invisible momentum that makes mountains move over time. And let me tell you something, most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they keep waiting to feel ready. They wait for the mood to strike, the stars to align, the right moment. But success doesn't show up for the prepared, it shows up for the present. For the one who refuses to quit, for the one who answers the call every day, even when the phone is silent. If you can just keep showing up when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's thankless, you become unstoppable, you become inevitable. That's the power of presence, not perfection, not passion, just presence. Motivation is a liar. It whispers sweet things in your ear one moment, then disappears the next. It'll have you fired up on Monday, drowning in excuses by Wednesday, and completely missing in action by Friday. That's the nature of motivation. It's unpredictable, fleeting, conditional. You can't build anything lasting on something that's here today, gone tomorrow. Motivation is a spark, and sparks fade. What you need is fire. What you need is something that burns even when nobody's watching. Something that doesn't depend on your mood or your comfort. And that something is discipline, because motivation waits for inspiration. Discipline doesn't wait, it acts. Motivation shows up when the music's loud, when the lights are on, when the world is clapping for you. But discipline shows up in the dark. Discipline knocks on your door when there's no crowd, no energy, no hype, just you and your choice. You ever wake up and feel like doing nothing? Like staying in bed, like quitting before you even start? That's the moment right there, the make or break moment. That's where a future gets shaped. Not when everything feels good, but when it doesn't. Because if you only move when you're motivated, you'll never get anywhere real. You'll always be chasing a feeling instead of building a future. The most dangerous thing you can do is sit around and wait to feel like it. Because life will pass you by, time will keep moving, and before you know it, you'll be stuck in a cycle of hesitation, watching other people do what you talked about. You think the greats wake up motivated every morning? You think champions feel inspired every single day? No, but they move anyway. They show up anyway. They do the work, especially when they don't feel like it, because they know something most people never learn. Your life doesn't change when you feel ready. It changes when you decide to act. With or without motivation. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting to feel powerful. Stop waiting for motivation to carry you. Carry yourself. Discipline is the difference between what you want now and what you want most. Desire is loud. It screams in the moment. It tells you to quit early, sleep in, take the shortcut, skip the work just this once. Desire is hungry for comfort. It wants the win without the work, the results without the sacrifice. But discipline is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It guides. It sits in the background, steady and strong, whispering, do it anyway. Discipline is not about feeling good. It's not about being in the mood. It's about making a decision and honoring it long after the mood you made it in has passed. That's the hard part. That's where most people fold. They confuse how they feel with who they are. But feelings are just visitors. They come and go. They lie to you. They tell you to quit because the work is hard. But discipline, it's truth. It's structure. It's a promise you made to yourself when no one else was watching. People ask how to stay consistent. Here's the answer. Stop negotiating with your feelings. Stop letting the temperature of your emotions dictate the direction of your life. You made the commitment, so follow through. Whether it's raining or shining, whether you're excited or exhausted, whether you're praised or ignored, show up anyway. Not because it's easy, because it's right. You don't need hype, you need habits. You don't need to be in the zone, you need to show up and build the zone. And that only happens with discipline, brick by brick, day by day, moment by moment. Desire wants what feels good now. Discipline builds what feels incredible later. One leads to regret, the other to greatness. You choose every day, every hour, every decision. And the ones who build something real, they don't always feel like it. They just do it anyway. I remember a time early in my career when things didn't look like they were ever going to work out. I was out there grinding, audition after audition, trying to catch a break. And let me tell you, those rooms, they can drain you. You walk in full of hope. You walk out feeling invisible. Nobody claps. Nobody explains. They just say, we'll call you. And you know they won't. You give your best, and it still ain't enough. There was one audition. I'll never forget it. I walked in thinking, this is the one. I had rehearsed every line, practiced every expression. But when I got in that room, I froze. The words stumbled out of my mouth. The rhythm was off. I knew it. I felt it. I walked out thinking, that's it. I blew it. I messed up my shot. And I could have stayed down. I could have said, this isn't for me. I could have let that moment define me. But something in me said, show up again tomorrow. And weeks later, I got a call. That same casting director, who I thought forgot my name, said, you weren't right for that role. But there's another one I think you are right for. And that role changed everything. Not because I was the most talented, not because I nailed the audition, but because I showed up. Falling isn't the failure. Staying down is. And every time you stand back up, every time you return after defeat, you're building something inside of you that no resume can capture. That persistence, that willingness to keep walking into rooms that don't welcome you, that's where your power lives. You might not see the reward today. You might feel like you're pouring into something that's not pouring back. But one of these days, when you least expect it, that showing up will pay off. Maybe not in the way you imagined. Maybe not when you wanted it, but it will. Because when you fall and keep moving forward, that's how breakthroughs are born. That's how legends are made. Not by perfection, but by presence, by the refusal to give up when every reason says you should. So fall hard, but fall forward. Your mind is no different from your body. If you want it to be strong, you've got to train it. You've got to work it, stretch it, test it every single day. You don't get stronger by staying comfortable. You get stronger by putting yourself under pressure, by facing resistance, by doing what you don't want to do again and again until it becomes second nature. That's what mental resistance training is. It's choosing discomfort on purpose. It's choosing the hard road because you know the easy one won't take you anywhere worth going. People go to the gym and understand the pain is part of the process. Muscles tear so they can grow back bigger. You lift something heavy today so you can lift something heavier tomorrow. But somehow we don't apply that same truth to the mind. We expect mental toughness to just show up without the reps, but it doesn't work like that. You want discipline, you want resilience, you want grit, then you got to train for it. You got to put yourself in situations that force you to focus when you're distracted, to move when you're tired, to rise when your emotions want to keep you small. You have to do the thing you want to avoid, not once, but consistently. Because every time you face that resistance and push through it, you build calluses on your mind. Those calluses, they're what carry you through when life hits hard. There are going to be days when your thoughts feel heavy, when doubt creeps in, when fear grabs your chest. That's when the training kicks in. That's when the work you've done in the dark shows up in the light. You won't have to rely on motivation. You'll have muscle, mental muscle. That unshakable belief that says, I've been here before, I've done the work, I know how to move through this. Training your mind isn't glamorous. It's not sexy. There are no medals for it. But it's the reason you'll keep going when others quit. It's the difference between wishing and winning, between breaking down and breaking through. So get your reps in. Every time you want to quit early, stay 5 minutes longer. Every time you want to avoid the hard conversation, lean in. Every time you feel like skipping the work, do it twice. Because the mind, just like the body, will only grow if you make it struggle. And through that struggle comes strength. Comfort is a liar. It wraps itself around you like a warm blanket, tells you everything's fine, whispers in your ear. You don't need to push today. You've done enough. But what it doesn't tell you is that comfort kills ambition. It lulls you to sleep while your potential rots in the basement of your soul. Every great thing you want, every dream, every breakthrough, every moment that makes life feel like life lives on the other side of discomfort. Not beside it, beyond it. And that's why most people never get there. Because it's easier to stay in the familiar, even when the familiar is unfulfilling. People will choose predictable misery over uncertain growth. That's how powerful the comfort zone is. You know what comfort looks like? It looks like routines that don't challenge you, habits that waste your time, excuses dressed up as logic. It's scrolling when you should be building. It's talking about goals more than working on them. It's staying around people who never demand more from you because they're afraid you might outgrow them. But here's the truth. Growth is uncomfortable by design. You don't evolve without pressure. You don't stretch without tension. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly without first breaking itself open. That discomfort, that burning, that friction, it's not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's proof you're doing something real. So if you feel resistance, good. If the path scares you, good. If your heart beats faster just thinking about stepping into something bigger, that's the sign. That's the edge. That's the place where life begins to shift. You want a different life? You want results that match your vision? Then you've got to be willing to walk through the fire of discomfort. Not once, every day. Wake up and do something that pushes you, that tests you, that stretches the limits of what you thought you could handle. Because the comfort zone isn't a safe place. It's a silent killer. It takes your time, your talent, your future, and buries it under the illusion that everything's fine. Don't let it. Don't live and die in a place that was only ever meant to be your starting point. Get uncomfortable. Stay uncomfortable. That's where the change lives. That's where you live. Success doesn't show up in a single moment. It shows up in the stacking of small wins, quiet victories, the kind nobody sees, claps for, or posts about. It's the early mornings when you choose to get up instead of hitting snooze. It's the late nights when you push through that final hour of work, not because anyone's watching, but because you said you would. You don't need to hit home runs every day. You just need to swing and then swing again, lay one brick, then another and another. One good decision after another, one rep, one page, one honest conversation, one hard choice. Those small wins, they compound, and what you're building may not be visible today, but over time, it turns into something unshakable. Think about a mansion, the kind that takes your breath away when you see it. You don't build that in a day. You build it brick by brick, carefully, daily. And here's the thing, each brick looks ordinary. Each one on its own doesn't feel like much, but stacked together, aligned with purpose, they become something powerful. They become legacy. That's your life. You won't always feel progress. You won't always see the reward right away, but if you keep showing up, keep putting in the work when it's easy, and especially when it's not, you are building something that lasts. A mindset, a rhythm, a reputation with yourself. And that's the most important one. Small wins create self-trust. They tell your mind, when I say I'll do it, I do. That's where confidence comes from. Not from hype, not from talking, from doing. So stop waiting for some huge dramatic shift. Don't wait for a big break or a miracle. Focus on winning today. Master the moment in front of you. Make this rep count. Make this conversation honest. Make this decision one you're proud of. Because if you do that, if you stay faithful to the process, those small wins turn into something massive. They become your body of work. They become your legacy. And you'll look back one day, not at one big moment, but at a lifetime of choosing the hard thing, the right thing, the next thing. One brick at a time. There's a fire inside you, but most people never feel its full heat because they spend their whole life trying to avoid the burn. They run from the discomfort, from the pressure, from the moments that test who they really are. But I'm here to tell you, the fire isn't your enemy. It's your forge. You want to grow, then you've got to stand in the fire. You've got to lean into the hard days, the long nights, the lonely hours, when no one's clapping and no one's calling your name. That's where your strength is built. Not when it's easy, but when you have every reason to walk away and you choose to stay. There's no shortcut through that. There's no hack around it. If you want to be solid, unshakable, if you want to carry something heavy in this life, whether it's a dream, a responsibility, a vision, you've got to earn that toughness in the heat of resistance, in the fire of your own excuses, in the flames of fear, doubt, and fatigue. You think courage is the absence of fear? No. Courage is walking into the fire with it. Is looking fear in the eye and saying, you don't get to decide what I do today. It's choosing the hard path, not because you're guaranteed success, but because growth only happens there. Transformation only happens there. Most people are waiting for perfect conditions. They want the wind at their back, the sun on their face, and a smooth road laid out before them. But that's not how you get built. If you only move when everything's perfect, you'll stay weak, you'll stay soft, you'll stay stuck. You want power? Then do one hard thing every day. Just one. Wake up and step into the discomfort on purpose. Choose the difficult conversation. Choose the extra rep. Choose the silence that forces you to face your own thoughts. That's the real work. That's the edge. Because once you make a habit of facing what's hard, once you learn to stand in the fire without flinching, you become dangerous in the best way. Unstoppable, relentless, the kind of person life can't knock down because you've already been through the flames and you came out tempered. So don't wait for the fire to go away. Don't pray for it to get easier. Get strong. Walk into it with your head up. And every time you do, you'll come out more focused, more grounded, more you. Stand in the fire. That's where the real you is waiting. It all comes down to this. Showing up is a choice. Every single day, every single moment. You might think the big moments, the victories, the breakthroughs, that's what shapes your story. But the truth? It's the small, consistent act of showing up when no one's watching that builds the foundation. It's the quiet commitment to keep going that separates the dreamers from the doers. You have to decide right here, right now, that no matter what happens, you will show up for yourself. Not when it's easy, not when it feels good, not when the stars align, but every day. Because discipline isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And that decision creates the future you want. You will face distractions, setbacks, and moments when you want to quit. That's guaranteed. But showing up means saying, not today, not on my watch. It means you honor the promise you made to yourself, even if the world forgets. This is your moment to rewrite your story, to choose courage over comfort, to decide that your life is worth the effort, the sacrifice, and the grind. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about waiting for inspiration. It's about being the inspiration. So I'm calling on you right now to make that choice, to commit to showing up, not just once or twice, but every day, to rise before the world stirs and stand tall when the noise tries to drown you out. Because when you do, you'll build something that can't be broken. You'll become the person you always wanted to be. The person who doesn't wait for opportunity, but creates it. The person who doesn't just dream, but does. Show up for yourself. Show up for your future. And watch how everything changes. So here's the truth I want you to walk away with. Life doesn't reward talent alone, or luck, or even passion. It rewards the person who shows up day after day, no matter the weather, no matter the doubts, no matter the noise around them. Showing up is a muscle, it's a habit. It's a commitment to yourself that says, I will not be defined by my circumstances. I will not be limited by my fears. It's choosing action over hesitation, presence over absence, courage over comfort. The road won't be easy. You'll fall. You'll face fire. You'll wrestle with your mind. But every time you get back up and show up again, you grow stronger, wiser, more unstoppable. So train your mind, build your discipline, embrace the discomfort, trust the process, and above all, make the decision right now to show up for your life every day. Because when you do that, you don't just change your story, you change your destiny. Now go, show up, own it, and be the force that moves the world.